Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Diddy, how are you almost going to get kicked out of your own trial? Yes, today in court, the judge almost kicked Diddy out of the courtroom and not allow him back in. You know what this tells me? Diddy's been in jail for almost a year now and he's learned nothing. He's still a narcissist and thinks he can get away with anything he wants. Hey, judge, next time, throw his out of here, bruh. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending what time zone you're in, it's Thursday night, but for some of y'all, it's Friday! Congratulations! Whoop, whoop, whoop. We finally made it to the end of the week, y'all. I probably am going to have to do a Friday night episode, and I'm probably going to scream out Friday again, but while I got the opportunity, you know I love a Friday. All right, y'all, I have a great show set up for you. I have 3 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about DDG filing an emergency motion to stop Halle Bailey from traveling with their son Halo, but he gets denied. Donald Trump announces a travel ban on 12 countries, and Diddy almost gets kicked out of his own court case, but also the prosecution makes a major mistake. Bana was caught in a lie. In quick news, we're going to talk about Karine Jean-Pierre writing a book against the Democratic Party, Pusha T, Rihanna, Malia Obama, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Almost got ahead of myself there. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. We're about to start this show. Let's go. All right, you guys, I have huge breaking news. Shout out to the person who just sent this to me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Elon Musk just tweeted this out. Time to drop the real big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein file. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. He put DGT. I told you all yesterday that Elon Musk and Trump are starting their beef. I have actually something in quick stories. We'll dive deeper into it then. But yo, the battle is on. Elon dropped a bomb minutes after Trump threatened to terminate Elon Musk's government subsidies and contracts to help save billions in the federal budget. Since departing the White House in his advisory role last week, Elon has been taking swing after swing at Trump over his big, beautiful bill budget. Elon already clearly got under Trump's skin earlier on in the day on Thursday, claiming on X that Trump owes his 2024 victory to Elon Musk after pouring hundreds of millions of dollars of support into his presidency. We'll talk about that in quick news. The so-called Epstein files are believed to contain some more names and details of people associated with sex traffickers and sex criminals. The big, beautiful bill just squeaked past the House of Representatives just 2 days ago, et cetera. We talked to you guys about that. Somebody asked the White House to comment, and they said, refer to Donald Trump's Truth Social platform. Wow. I cannot believe the back and forth that is going on between these two. They are going at it. Trump is threatening to take away government subsidies. Elon is like, oh, really? Here's a receipt. I mean, it's not a full receipt because we don't know what it is, but this is like, he's alluding to the fact that he has receipts. How deep is this going to go? Like I said, wait till we talk about this in quick news. I have a theory on what this could be about, but it's getting serious that I don't even know if my theory is right or not. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Our first lead story, alleged threatening text messages between Halle and DDG where she confronts him about cheating. All right, let me take you through a timeline of what happened over the past 24 hours. This actually happened right after we finished recording. You guys know normally when something breaks, I try to stick it into break news, but it literally happened like an hour and a half after. So let me take you through the timeline and let you know what is really going on, okay? So DDG, actually, let me take you back a little further than that, just for those who don't know. Halle Bailey filed a restraining order or temporary restraining order against DDG and filed for full custody over Halo. And the judge is supposed to be looking into that. I think it's in the next couple of weeks. That's coming up. So as you know here, we're not the biggest fan of DDG on this show. Okay. So over the past couple of weeks, that has been lingering. DDG has been saying, hey, she's saying all these things about me. She's trying to take my son, she's trying to take my son away from me and denying all allegations. Halle said that DDG put hands on her and also she put out pictures and evidence. That's why they're going to court. Now, Halle is just signed on for a movie in Italy and she wants to take Halo. I was hearing about this for the past couple of days, but I didn't know what was going to happen. And literally, like I just said yesterday, we find out that DDG made an emergency, what do they call it? An emergency order to stop Halle from leaving the country with Halo. And now he brought some evidence that I'll admit is not the best, but he's now trying to say, listen, she wants to talk about me and she wants full custody. Well, here is proof of her doing some things. And I do not want to let her take my son to Italy because she's not a fit mother. Let me walk you through it, okay? DDG has filed an emergency order to stop Halle Bailey from taking their son to Italy for 2 months. Allegedly, she's emotionally unstable. She put hands on him. She put an air tag on him and withheld their son to control him. And once she drove a little recklessly with the baby. He's requesting full custody and a ban on international travel to protect their child, third-party custody exchanges, and a court monitoring communication. He submitted text messages, injury photos, and a witness statement as evidence. Now, I'm going to put this text message picture up here. Take a look. Answer the effing phone. Answer the effing phone. I'm going to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing, Daryl. That's it. Then DDG writes back, I just want to be left alone, please. And then she writes, I'm calling for help. I have something in my hand. And it continues by saying, I'm calling for help, but you don't care. Now, there's a lot worse text messages. We have put it up on our new blog page. We have a new name. I'll tell you that a little bit later. But it's now Out Loud Daily. We changed it from formerly Out Loud. So there's all the full text messages. We cannot read it here on YouTube for sure. The page or the channel will definitely get flagged, or the video will get flagged. So you go check it out on Out Loud Daily. I have to get used to saying that. But it definitely goes a lot further than that and deeper. And she starts saying things that are, how do I put it? That she is going to like just do some bad things. Okay, let's just put it that way. If you want to go to Daily Out Loud, check it out. Now, while the text messages aren't great, it's not evidence of her being a bad mom. What it looks like to me, and I'm going to be fair because whenever DDG comes up here, I say things and I drag him. But I don't feel like the text messages are anything dragging. It just seems to me like a woman that's going through postpartum, that's stressed, that has a lot of things going on. She has a brand new baby boy or girl, doesn't matter, but she has a baby boy, but she has a brand new baby. And her and Daryl are breaking up. She sees him. She knows that he's in Mexico. She finds out that he's with somebody and she's really upset. There's nothing in there that shows that she's not a good mother. It seems as if she's a very upset and heartbroken ex-girlfriend. And now, while I'm not condoning some of the things that she said in there at all, they're not, to me, in my opinion, anywhere close to her accusations of him. And even though when I drag him, I still say at the end of the day, even though she's showing pictures and all of this stuff, we still needed to go in front of a court of law to see if it's true, if it's the truth, right? You need a judge or it's going to be a jury or whatever. But his evidence, to me, is not enough. And to me, it just looks like a hurt and very upset ex-girlfriend. All right, that's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Now, it goes on from there also too. Custody battle is on. A declaration from DDG's mom accuses Halle Bailey of tracking him with a hidden AirTag. Okay, the ongoing custody battle between DDG and Halle Bailey is bringing family into the feud. Surface documents show that his mother, Tanya, reportedly spoke about Haley's behavior toward the streamer, who's DDG. Now her comments are sparking more conversation about what's going on behind the scenes. Tanya, DDG's mom, has added another layer to the situation, seemingly filed with serious claims, emotional tension, and legal drama. According to court documents, DDG submitted images showing that Halle allegedly used multi-hidden air trackers to track his movement. Now, I'll put up a picture. You'll see this is a Hello... I'm about to say Hello Kitty, but it's not Hello Kitty, but it has like a cat face on it, and you see it's from Amazon, and it's an air tag that you could put for your cat's collar. And apparently it was hidden. Here's another look at it. So allegedly, Halle put this tracker in one of DDG's cars and knew where he was and showed up at a movie theater when he was with some girl. And they were broken up at the time. So again, this is wrong. Not cool at all. Not cool to be tracking somebody. Sidebar for a second, by the way, though. When you have an air tracker that's tracking you and it's not your air tracker, aren't you supposed to get an alert on your phone? I don't understand. Apparently in the whole order that he says that there was, he found 5 air tags. How do you have 5 air tags in your phone doesn't tell you? I don't know. Halle must have some super duper air trackers. Anyways, so yes, like I just said, there was other air trackers found. Now, is that cool? Not cool at all, especially if you're not in a relationship with him. However, that doesn't show me anything about her being a bad mom. It doesn't show, again, this, if you're having a case of, is she a upset ex-girlfriend? Is she even a crazy ex-girlfriend? Sure, but this doesn't show me any evidence of her not being able to be a good mom and a reason why you shouldn't let a mother take her son with her to Italy. Like, give me a break. Now, here comes I think I already told you guys this, but although he did make an emergency order, he got denied. Judge reportedly denies DDG's temporary restraining order request against Halle Bailey. DDG requested an emergency hearing in an attempt to block Halle from traveling internationally with their son, Halo. He countered her previous DV accusations by filing for a restraining order of his own, but his request was not approved. Bailey is set to leave to Italy with their 1-year-old this weekend for a few months as she shoots a film. The Michigan rapper filed a motion against his ex-girlfriend for whatever, blah, blah. I already told you that. So I wish I would have been able to cover this story yesterday because I would have told you yesterday that he was going to get denied, but now it just looks like I'm saying that because the judge said that. But there's clear proof of her being upset. Even if you want to call her a little temporarily crazy, but what girl that's in love with her man that finds out her man is cheating on her after they have a child within 1 year and doesn't go a little crazy? Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, like I said, we are not the biggest fans of DDG here. I have told you guys that from since we started covering DDG and Halle. And it's not just because I'm a Halle and Chloe fan, which I am, but the stories that I hear about him, I just don't feel good. And now that we've seen some pictures and she showed some receipts, you know me, I'm a big receipt guy. You want to talk? You'll get my attention. Okay, I'll have a couple of feelings here or there. You start showing me receipts, I'll start drawing conclusions. You know what I'm saying? And this now, what DDG is doing to the mother of his child and putting out these text messages, find it a little bit even more horrible, to be honest with you. Now, in closing, about these text messages leaking, these text messages are not for in public consumption. Sometimes when you file something, it's public and you could just go on one of these sites, these court sites, and pull them up. When you go on those court sites, those text messages are not there. So it remains to be seen who put out these text messages. How did they get out? If I'm not mistaken, TMZ was the first one to leak it, but was it DDG trying to make Haley look bad because he looks bad in the public eye. At the end of the day, that is the mother of your child. And I keep saying this when I talk about Cardi, when I talk about Offset, when I talk about anybody that has kids, whether it be Anthony Edwards and what's her name? Jada? I can't remember. Alicia Edwards. Y'all are going to regret this 10 or 15 years from now when your child is old enough to Google their name and their parents' name and find out all of this mess. It's just horrible. So I would think about that. And for those of you sometimes who ask me some personal questions in the comment section on why I'm not married, I don't have kids. Yeah, now you know. Let me know what you think about Haley and DDG in the comment section below. Our second lead story. Trump announces travel ban on 12 countries and partial restrictions on 7 others. All right, this is another story that broke yesterday. I'm sure some of you may have heard this already, but I just wanted to make sure I throw it in here for those of you who may not have heard. In a return to one of the most controversial policies of his terms, Donald J. Trump signed a proclamation on Wednesday banning nationals from a dozen countries, including Afghanistan, Haiti, and the Republic of Congo from entering the United States. Trump framed the new restrictions, which primarily target African and Asian countries, as necessary to formulate national security and combat terrorism. The proclamation included exemptions for any lawful permanent resident in the United States, recipient of Afghani special immigrant visa, diplomatic visas, immediate family member immigration visas, and visas for ethnic and religious minorities in Iran. It also includes exemptions for dual national travel on passports from restricted countries, and athletes or member of athletic teams traveling to countries for the World Cup or the Olympics. The travel restrictions are set to go into effect Monday. Oh, I thought I was about to say they're in effect already. So they go into effect Monday. So I guess it's this coming Monday. What date is that? I don't know. I think June the 9th. So that's it. Here is a video from Donald Trump. Take a listen at this video of one of his reasons why he's enacting this. Listen carefully.
The recent terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, has underscored the extreme dangers posed to our country by the entry of foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas. We don't want them. That is why today I am signing a new executive order placing travel restrictions on countries including Yemen, Somalia, Haiti, Libya, and numerous others.
Just wanted to highlight that the person that was responsible for that attack was not from any of the countries that are on his list. Y'all just come to that conclusion, and not come to conclusion, but y'all let me know what you think about that. I, for one, I'm not super shocked by this. As it said in the article in the beginning, Trump did this in his first term. It's not surprising that he was going to do this now. I am one of the people that believe that Trump does things for news cycles. I believe that he has 10 to 15 things that he's going to do, and he just literally has them, and he puts them out as he needs news cycles. So everyone's talking about the bill, boom, he throws things like this in. That's just really my belief. Y'all could not believe me if you want to, but I really think that's what Trump does. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you think about the travel ban. There's both sides to the coin. This makes a lot of Republicans and a lot of his followers happy. Again, it's America first. And of course, on the Democratic side, they're not always happy with, bans like this. At the end of the day, this falls under immigration and protecting America. And Trump uses this as ways to get things that he wants out of countries. So there are some good in there. There are also bad. I would say a little bit more leaning bad. It's just the way how Trump goes about things. But let me know what you guys think. I really want to know your opinions in the comment section below. Our third lead story. All right, let's talk about the Diddy trial. If you ask me, the biggest thing that happened today is judge warns Diddy, stop mugging at the jurors or you will get the boot. But before we get to that, let me tell you a couple of other things. So Today, the court only started at, I think, around 11 o'clock. There was a little bit of a delay. Why was there a delay? Because Jane is testifying. If I'm not mistaken, this is the second or third. Maybe it's the second. There was Mia and now Jane. Wasn't there a Jane Doe? I think maybe Jane Doe's the third victim is not going to show up. Anyways, let's just say the second person that is testifying under a Jane Doe or a pseudonym, keeping her identity. So as you guys know, Mia had her name released and there was a video released. She was doxxed. So what the judge said today, that Jane is coming up, he would like to take a couple of hours to go through all the exhibits, make sure there's no mistakes so that doesn't happen again. So court was delayed. Second thing that happened today was the government named KK, who is Diddy's chief of staff. We heard about her from Eddie Garcia, calling Eddie Garcia. He was the one of the managers at the CNN Intercontinental Hotel CNN videotape. KK is Diddy's chief of staff, his right-hand woman. And a lot of people have been talking about Cassie, of her doing things wrong, and she should be a co-conspirator. And we did know that there was going to be other co-conspirators. It has now been released that KK is a co-conspirator. By the way, just to add, I don't think Cassie should be a co-conspirator. Just saying, a lot of people are speculating that if there's a RICO charge, who else is going to be here? Is Cassie going to be one? Is KK going to be one? Is some people say Fonworth Bentley is going to be one? Who is going to be a co-conspirator? Another reason why is in Diddy's unsealed indictment, or even when it was sealed, it was defendant one. And when you have a one, you know that means that there's a two or a three or whatever. So we got our first co-conspirator, KK. Now, what we don't know is that, is she going to be granted immunity, or is she going to go on trial like Diddy? If you ask me, the reason why they're announcing this is probably that she's probably going to take the stand. We don't know. Jane might be the last one. KK might be the last one. If she is granted immunity, she could take the stand and testify against Diddy. In things like this, they want the head of the snake. They don't want KK. They want Diddy. But if she really did some bad things, then they might want to get her too. So that's still up for speculation. But just letting you know, she has been announced as Diddy's co-conspirator. This is the first time that we have heard that. Now, let's get on to Diddy. This was a time, I think, after Bana got off from testifying, and I'm going to let you guys know, if you guys remember, we ended off yesterday's recap with Bana. Her full name is Rihanna, who is one of Cassie's friend. She used to bring her a lot of party favors. Diddy hung her over a balcony, that Bana. So she has some cross-examination, which was a lot of stuff that went down today I'm going to share with you. But at the end of her testimony, Diddy was warned by the judge once the jurors were dismissed. Now, again, I don't remember 100% the timeline. It could have been before Bana or after, but the fact that the jury wasn't there, I'm assuming it was probably before. Anyways, maybe we'll find out in here. Sean Diddy Combs better quit making faces at the jurors in his federal trial, or he'll be booted from the courtroom. That's the stern warning the judge hit him with Thursday morning. The 17th day of trial began with Diddy's defense team cross-examining Brianna, on cross, and questioning her about the alleged incident where she says Diddy held her over the edge of a 17-story balcony. After her testimony, once jurors left, there we go. So I was right. It was after her testimony. Once the jurors left, the judge really went after Diddy's defense lawyer, Mark Agofino, for his client's courtroom behavior, pointing out Diddy was nodding vigorously while staring down the jurors. The judge threatened sanctions, including possibly banning Diddy from the courtroom. Do you have any idea how bad that would be if Diddy was banned from the courtroom? Now, as amazing as Diddy's lawyers are, nobody could defend Diddy like Diddy. Diddy needs to be in the courtroom. As the old expression goes, he knows where the bones are. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. But yeah, he knows where he knows everything. He knows all the insides of the closets in there. You know what I mean? So while there's testimony, he's, handing notes to his defense team, like, yo, ask her this. Yo, this is not true. This is what happened here. So you need to be in the courtroom. I explained that thoroughly to just let you know how ridiculous, narcissistic, and arrogant and egotistical, and I wish I could find 5 more other words, that like the unmitigated gall, the audacity for him to take this risk just shows me that Diddy feels like he is still untouchable. He feels like he is it. He feels like he can get away with anything. Like, are you crazy taking the risk of running yourself, getting sanctioned and kicked out the courtroom, bro? Like, that's just guilt. You'll be done. It'll be over. Your defense team cannot defend you without you being there. And he almost got himself kicked out. It's just ridiculous. Now, let me finish. Sorry, I forgot I didn't even finish. While he stopped short of saying the judge's concern stemmed from Diddy's behavior, while he stopped short of saying it, the judge's concern seems to be that Diddy's behavior could sway the jurors, conveying to them he agrees with questions from his attorney or the answers that Rihanna was giving at the time. So basically, he's saying that Diddy is trying to sway the jurors by when his defense team is talking to Bana, saying like, oh yeah, this, and I'll get into it here, the date, this, because they caught her in a lie. So he's there like, exactly, yo, bro, you cannot sway the jury like that. Are you crazy? Now that I got that out the way, let me tell you, I want to be careful. I know people watch this podcast, but yo, I just explained to you the unmitigated gall, the audacity to whatever, blah, blah, blah. This lets me know that even though Diddy is arrogant and even though Diddy is crazy to take that risk, it also lets me know that what? Why would he be looking at people on the jury and nodding his head and shaking? Come on. I know y'all are thinking it. Say it with me now. Diddy has somebody on the jury. Diddy has somebody on the jury. Diddy has somebody on the jury that's in his pocket, or maybe Diddy's in their pocket. Why else would he be like nodding signals? Go back, try to convince the other ones this, whatever. Because, hey, if he has one, it could be a mistrial, right? Let's say he has one juror or 2 jurors in his corner and he gets a mistrial. The prosecution was probably going to try him again. We already talked about that. So as we know, he's still trying for a mistrial. He's probably also trying to tell whoever he has on the jury there to be like, yo, use this to try to convince all the other ones. Because if he does have somebody on the jury, not only does he want a mistrial, he wants to get found not guilty. Y'all know Diddy. He's not trying to just only get a mistrial. He's like, let's just go for the gusto. That's what this tells me, which makes it even more crazy that he would take the risk of getting caught by sending signals to somebody you have on the jury. Woo! Anyways, that was a big revelation to me. Okay, so let me get into Bana now. She was cross-examined by Nicole Westmoreland, Diddy's black female attorney. Now, I don't know if I told you guys this before. I gave you a little bit of her background where before she was a lawyer, she was R-worded, she was essayed, she filed a criminal case against somebody, they were found guilty. That's who I'm talking about. Her temperament is such that, this is what I've heard from somebody. Think about a mom that comes into a room and their kid is doing something bad. And you know those moms that just have to look at you and you stop? There's some moms that are like, you need to do this. And the kid is like, yeah, whatever. And then they have to take a while to get the kid to stop. Nicole Westmoreland is a type of lawyer that she's just very intimidating and very stern and very, again, it's hard for my friend who was in the courtroom to put it into words, but he's like, this thing about her as the mom that comes in the room and you do not want to play with her. You stop doing whatever you're doing and you just say, sorry, mom, before she even asks for you to say sorry. That's Nicole Westmoreland, okay? So, Nicole questioned the date of the balcony incident, and she actually brought out a bombshell, and she got Bana to go through the incident again, the balcony incident, and then she said, "Okay, you got bruises. These are the pictures. This is the date, right? Yeah, September 26th, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or 25th. Yeah, that was the date. You're sure that was the date? Yeah, 2016, September. Yeah, she got her to say the date a couple of times. Nicole and Diddy's defense team put up a receipt on the TV or on the screen that showed that Cassie and Diddy were in New York at the Trump International Hotel at the time that Bana is alleging that Diddy had her over the balcony. Yo! How do you make that kind of mistake? How do you make that kind of mistake on the witness stand? How did the prosecution mess that up? Crazy. That is huge. She looks like she's not telling the truth. She looks like she's making stuff up. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe her, and I think that she probably just got her dates mixed up. And I see some people, some other people who are reporting this saying, oh, it's a traumatic experience, and sometimes when you have a traumatic experience, you don't remember the date, and who cares about the date? Then it's really just about what happened. Yes, in normal people land, in the trial of the century, when you're trying to put down a powerful multi-billionaire or billionaire powerful connect, this is the trial of the century. This is not Bana's fault. She probably was intimidated by Nicole. She probably was shaken. She's probably whatever. But it's the prosecution's job to prepare the witness. You come in, you take their statements, you write stuff down or whatever, and then you prepare the witness for the day. Okay, Bana, just remember, you got to say this, you got to say that. These are the dates, whatever, blah, blah. Now, obviously, either Bana messed up the dates or the prosecution didn't realize that Diddy was not even in LA at that time. Because on cross-examination, they didn't clear up the dates. They didn't save Bana. So that is huge. Doesn't ruin the case or anything, but as I've told you guys before, when the prosecution messes up with one witness and one witness makes out to be look like a liar, the jury can be like, yo, prosecution had one witness that was there lying, and I'm going to tell you some other things. Caught her in a lie, caught her in a date in a lie. I have a little bit of a doubt. All you need is reasonable doubt. You must convict guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's doubt. Let me tell you also what was also not good. So when she asked her now, hey, Diddy and Cassie were in New York at the Trump International Hotel. Here's a food that they ordered. Here's a food receipt order. Plus, there was a Bad Boy tour reunion going on. How are you going to have a Bad Boy reunion tour and Diddy is in LA chilling with you? Obviously, he was in New York, in Jersey at the time of the thing, but staying at the Trump International Hotel in New York. She had no answer. She goes, I don't know. Doesn't look bad. Before and after, during the cross-examination, my friend that's in the courtroom said that Bana was answering all, if not all questions, slow and with hesitation. When you are testifying in front of a grand jury in a court like this, you need to be quick. You need to, if I'm asking you about your day and there's nothing to hide and you feel good about it, you're like, well, what did you eat this morning? Well, I had banana, blueberries, and strawberries. Okay, cool. What else? Well, I had some egg whites. Okay, cool. What else did you do? I worked out. You're not like, I think I worked out. And I get, maybe some things might be like, hold on, what? But it's not like they pulled her over in the car and they're asking her. You are prepared by the prosecution. So I say all of this to say, that she was maybe one of the worst witnesses for the prosecution. And I've been saying for the past couple of days, the prosecution needs to be careful. If you ask me, they've already proven their case. They should rest their case, bring on Jane and rest their case, because mistakes like this could happen when you bring on multiple people. You cannot think everyone's going to be perfect. And now things are starting to not look great. Here is one last thing that the defense brought up. They spoke about Bana having a civil suit, and it's a $10 million civil suit, And when she first brought it out, it was with Tyrone Blackburn. Tyrone Blackburn allegedly added to her case that Diddy SA'd her. Bana said when she found out that Tyrone added that, she fired him because she said it wasn't true. Diddy never SA'd her. But then Nicole Westmoreland, Diddy's lawyer, said, you have a new lawyer and your case is pending and on the side right now, but your new lawyer has SA in your new case. So if that didn't happen and you fired Tyrone, why does your new lawyer have SA in the case too while you're suing Diddy for $10 million? Nicole said, isn't it true that all of this is a lie? Isn't it true that you're just here to bring more merit to your own case? And she said, no. And she said, I'm here for justice. And Nicole ended the cross-examination by saying, your justice is trying to be, the justice that you want to get is you trying to be a multimillionaire. And she said, the defense rests. And shot it, big win for the prosecution. But don't worry, this is minor. This isn't even a really, Banner's testimony didn't even really apply to RICO, didn't apply to SEX trafficking, forced fraud and coercion, or just for women selling themselves. It had nothing to do with that. This was just to show Diddy's temperament of being a wild and crazy guy. So there you have it. Crazy. I think that's all my notes, right? All right. Yeah, that's all Diddy stuff. Hold on. Let me just give you some details. During cross-examination, the defense dug into the date Bana provided to the court. Here it is. September the 26th, 2016, for when Diddy allegedly held her on the balcony. The defense argued Diddy couldn't have been in LA that date because he was traveling to the East Coast for the Bad Boy reunion tour. Okay, so I was right. September the 26th, 2016. Diddy was on the tour. He couldn't have been in LA. Horrible. Let me know what y'all think. I'm going to make sure if I got everything. Is that everything? It's so hard when you have a bunch of stuff. All right. If I think of anything else, I'll come back and tell you. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, y'all. I had a feeling there was more. Jane took the stand. I'll tell y'all what she has said so far. This is just the beginning. I'm going to do a deep dive, talk to people in the courtroom, and on tomorrow's show, yes, we're going to do a special show tomorrow that will really be focusing on Jane and the Diddy trial. We'll throw in some other stuff too, but y'all know that we'll do a Friday evening or Friday night show covering this, okay? But I wanted to let you know, Jane claims First Freak Off opened the door, felt obligated to keep doing it for rent money. Just right there by the title, that shows you SEX trafficking from force, fraud, or coercion. It's coercion. It's not force, but it's coercion. Like Cassie, hey, if you don't continue to do this, maybe your tapes might leak. Hey, if you don't continue to do this, maybe I won't pay your rent anymore. Listen to this. Another Diddy accuser took the stand Thursday, diving into their SEX life with the mogul and dished on pet names they had for one another. Jane, who's not her real name, is an alleged victim testifying under the pseudonym in the trial, says she dated Diddy from 2021 up until his arrest last year. Guys, that is really bad for Diddy. Some jurors might sit down and think like, oh, this happened with Cassie when 2012, 2013. They're not supposed to, but they might look like, man, that was 10 or 15 years ago. Diddy was just like, he was in love and he was crazy at that time. The prosecution bringing this girl here up till he was arrested last year shows that, yeah, he had a problem with Cassie, and that stuff started maybe in 2008, 2010, wherever it started, up until now. Meaning, don't feel sorry for him. Don't second guess this. This is who he is. He hasn't changed. Put him under the jail and lock the key. This is really bad. She told the jury intimate details of their relationship, saying the two watched a lot of adult movies while hooking up. Jane said they had one conversation about fantasizing while watching adult movies together in May 2021. Jane said she left the room to use a bathroom, but when she came back, Diddy was on the phone and told her the two could have a freak off that night. Jane testified that she and Diddy quickly went to a hotel where she met a man named Don, one of the entertainers for the evening, who was in his underwear. Jane says she and Don engaged in SEX activity while Diddy watched and he was doing his own thing. I still don't understand how that is a thing for him. Like, I don't get it. Anyways, she says after Dawn left, she and Diddy then went on to have sex. Jane said she found the experience exhilarating and had a good time, but adds it opened Pandora's box. Okay, so that gives her credibility. She's saying, hey, we were watching an adult movie. He asked me if I wanted to. I said I would want to. I did it. It was good. Here's where it gets bad. From then on, Jane says she was often freaking off with Diddy. And later on, she claimed that she even verbally and in writing told him that she didn't want to do it anymore. Hold on, I got to move this. They have writing? Oh, no, Diddy, you're gone. This week they proved RICO, and I told y'all like a couple of weeks ago, they proved the first SCX trafficking. Now they have SCX trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion. They have him on all counts. They have him on all counts, people. This is crazy. Verbally and in writing. Here's the coercion. However, she testified, Diddy told her he would only pay her rent for a few more months if she didn't have SCX with other men. And she said she felt obligated to continue to engage in this activity. Jane's testimony comes after similar details were presented to the jury with his ex Cassie and his former assistant who testified under the pseudonym Mia. Yo, Diddy, you're done, bro. Wow. Let me deep dive. I will get on the phone or whatever. Tomorrow I'll have my notes. I'll have all the intricate details of everything that happened in that courtroom. I just really want to get this video out now. Wow. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. Like I said, I have friends that are directly in the courtroom. I'll let you know like what the jurors are thinking, saying, what's going on in there. Well, we can't know what the jurors are thinking, but you could still look at people, and sometimes they give you little, remember like I told you, like one juror nudged another juror. Sometimes the jurors are tired, sometimes whatever. We'll try to give you as much information on that. How was Diddy looking? How was his body language? How was the judge? How was the prosecution? And just know something. This is day one. The prosecution says that she will be on the stand for 2 to 3 days, and then cross-examination should last 2 days. So we're going to have 5 more days of Jane. Next week, we won't have to wait or have a delay because I'll be there and tell you directly. All right, y'all. Exciting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news, but because he spent so much time on Diddy, it's going to be speed news. So let's go. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Karine Jean-Pierre quits the Democratic Party, releases tell-all book on broken Biden administration. Karine Jean-Pierre has officially left the Democratic Party and is releasing a tell-all book expressing what she calls a broken Biden administration. I hate when they write the same thing that's in the title and makes me repeat these things. So annoying. Anyways, listen to Karine. For those of you who don't know, Karine was Biden's press secretary. Take a listen.
In an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does.
Okay, like I said, I have to speed through this, so I can't deep dive into this. I am not sure how I feel about this yet because she's writing a book. She's obviously going to make the headline sound salacious. We don't know what she's going to say. I've heard things of her not throwing Biden under the bus, and the people who she's throwing under the bus are the people who pressured Biden to leave and not run for a second term and put in Kamala. Not necessarily that she didn't agree with them, but she didn't like the way how they went about it. If that's the case and that's what her book is about, I guess that's not bad, right? If she's going at Biden, the person who gave her that opportunity, that gave her probably the biggest opportunity in her life, and now she's writing a book about it and she's dragging him to make money off of it, then that's pretty bad. So we have to see. But from the marketing experience I have, she has people talking. I'm sure she has a lot of people in the Democratic Party scared. Her book is coming out in October. What she's doing now from a marketing strategy is they'll look now at everything that's going online, how much buzz this is building. That's how they'll know how to go to the bookstores and say, look, we just put out a little tease in June. You need to order 1 million copies. You need to order this. We need to print out or whatever. So this is just a test. It worked. Her book is going to be a bestseller, and now they'll probably put more money behind it. This was just a little test. This is what they do in marketing. Let's see if this has legs, as they call it. So anxious to see what it is going to be in this book. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our second quick story. Pusha T paid 7 figures to leave Def Jam after refusing to drop Kendrick Lamar's verse on his upcoming album. All right, quickly here. I told you guys about Pusha T and the Clips putting out an album. Kendrick Lamar's verse was on it. Universal was like, yo, I feel like you guys are going at Drake. I feel like that we don't really like this. We have a lawsuit with Drake right now. We want no part of this. Pusha was like, you know what? I'm not taking anything off. This is artist expression. Let me out of my deal. And now we're finding out that he paid 7 figures. Quickly, he just wants to let you know that he wasn't dropped by Def Jam. He says, they did not drop us. They were like, pay us the money, which is an exorbitant amount of money, an S ton of money. And he said they would let him out the deal. And what would happen was we paid them the money, and an insane amount of money. Not like $200,000, a lot more money. This is 3 times he's trying to let us know it's a lot of money. Like, we get it, Push. Basically, he bought his way out of his deal. The interviewer also asked, how many solo albums did Push have left on his Def Jam deal? Said, I don't really want to talk about that part, but he had like 3 albums left. So he had to pay 7 figures to get out that deal? Yes. Okay. He wants y'all to know he paid 7 figures. All right. A lot of money. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our third quick story. Rihanna's net worth reportedly dropped from $1.4 billion to $1 billion. Rihanna's net value has reportedly decreased by $400 million, dropping from 1.4 to 1 billion, according to Forbes' 2025 list of America's richest self-made women. This 29% decline is attributed to challenges within her business venture, particularly Fenty brand and Savage Fenty. Despite these setbacks, Rihanna remains a billionaire, with Fenty Beauty, co-owned by LVMH, continuing to generate significant revenue. The decline reflects broader market trends affecting celebrity-led brands. What a life it must be to lose 400 million and still be a billionaire. Like, yo, listen, coming from the business world, you have business ups and downs. You hear where celebrity-driven brands, products might not be trending this year, might be trending down. I don't really feel like this is anything for Rihanna to be like shocked over. She's still a billionaire. They'll probably bring in some advisors. They'll make some changes. Maybe they'll pull her back from the brand and maybe have it a little bit more solo-led or whatever. They'll do something. Rihanna will be fine. Just want to let y'all know that Riri still a billionaire. Our fourth quick story. Malia Obama drops her last name. All right, Michelle Obama addressed this and said, I mean, it's very important for my kids to feel like they've earned what they are getting in this world, and I don't want people to assume that they don't work hard, that they are just naturally handed things. First of all, Malia could do whatever she wants. She wants to drop her name, fine. My whole thing is that, A, you look exactly like Barack Obama. 1. 2, we all know that you're Barack Obama's daughter anyways. And 3, I actually think in this day and age that your name doesn't automatically mean you're handed things. Society is very different, just in my opinion, than it was, 20, 30 years ago, where like your last name was, like the Clintons, like back in the day, or the Bushes, or, Rockefeller, or whatever, like these big names, like, nowadays with social media or whatever, like people are like just a whole lot different out here. This is 2025. If somebody doesn't like you, they're not going to like you. If you're a billionaire and you're not a good person, you're like, yo, whatever. Then people are not swayed by that. It also could be too that maybe there's also hate. We're not thinking about that, right? It could also be the hate that some people have, and she doesn't want that hate. My whole thing that confuses me about all of this is we've seen them grow up. We know their faces. So everybody who sees you knows who you are anyways. You travel around with Secret Service. Does president's kids still have Secret Service after they left office? If they don't have Secret Service, they got mad security around them anyways. Anyways, look, shout out to Malia Obama. I hope you have a beautiful life. But we all know that you're Barack Obama's daughter, whether you drop your name or not. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Our fifth quick story. The girls are fighting. Elon Musk says Donald Trump wouldn't have won the election without him after Trump says Musk has Trump derangement syndrome since leaving the White House. All right, this seems light now compared to what I just told you guys in breaking news about the Epstein and all of that stuff. But prior to that breaking, Donald Trump had this to say about Elon Musk. Take a listen.
Never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot. A lot of good things are happening in this room. And I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone. The whole world is different and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it. You'll let us know. Yeah.
And for those of you who missed Elon Musk's tweet, he says, without me, Trump would have lost the elections, Dems would have control of the House, and Republicans would have a 51-41 in the Senate. Now, it's funny because during the campaign, a couple of pundits on CNN were like, yo, y'all think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk's bromance is going to last? They were predicting within 6 months that this union would have broken up. And I thought that was normal, Democratic CNN pundit talk. And I was like, I know that they have had their differences back and forth for sure. But I was like, I don't think they could be this close and this bonded for this long and then come out and go at each other's necks. I was like, if anything, they're just maybe not buddy-buddy or they're not as close. Yo, who could have predicted this? But anyways, shout out to, I don't even remember who said it, but shout out to whoever said that. They were 100% right. This was crazy. Now, yesterday, I told you guys something about Elon and Donald. I don't remember what it was, but something about they're fighting. It was starting. It was brewing up. He said something about Donald Trump. Oh, he said something about Donald Trump's bill. He said that he doesn't like the bill, which wasn't directly at Donald. I mean, it is Donald's bill, but saying today that Trump was in the Epstein files, I mean, that's just crazy work. But yesterday I was like, I think that this might be Elon Musk just trying to get back in the good graces of the American people and try to get his wealth back and people buying Tesla again. Now, today's bombshell with the Epstein thing, it's kind of hard to say if that is still the plan, but it could be. Because don't forget, Donald Trump likes being in the news cycle. Everybody has thought that he was in the Epstein file. So could this be like an inner workings? Like, okay, as soon as I leave office, I'm gonna talk about you. Oh yeah, say the Epstein thing, that will really work or whatever. And then it levels the playing field back with him in the public. Like, yeah, go Elon. And all the Democrats love Elon. They're going to stop vandalizing Tesla. They're going to stop doing all of this stuff. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. My favorite segment, comments of the day. What up? We are here. All right, before I start comments of the day, I have a very, very important question to ask you. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, they are, because we all are vulnerable to data breaches. And that is why, we're all available if you are not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. But I am using it. That's why I am secure. Go to my sponsor below, aura.com/Trent Out Loud, to get a free 14-day trial to see if any of your information has been exposed. All right, I tell y'all every day I have fun joking around with this, but it is actually really, really serious. There are people out there who are doing damaging things with your social security number, your credit card, your banking information, and for free for 14 days, Aura could go and find out and see if anybody has your information and take it off the dark web for you, okay? Let me tell you a little bit more about it. If you're ever wondering how scammers get your phone numbers or why your inbox is full with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data. They do it without your consent, and they make billions selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That is why I recommend today's sponsors, Aura, to my family, friends, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part, automatically removing your information off of sites and keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. Now, some of you might be saying, it's all right, I got you. I don't have Aura, but I have another digital security platform. Let me tell you what Aura says about that. Having another digital security platform other than Aura is like having your front door locked, but keeping your back door and your windows open. They are 99.999%, and I'll tell you about that 0.001% after, but they are foolproof. They are the best in the business, and they are an all-in-one. They cover your banking, credit cards, social security number, all your devices. They have family plans. Like, it's really, really amazing, okay? Let me tell you a little bit more, and then I'll tell you about that 0.001. With Aura, you get alerts if your personal information is found on the dark web. They have real-time fraud alerts for your credit card and banking information. You will also get a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they have US-based support around the clock, customer service, which is the best customer service in the business. And here is the 0.0001%. If anything ever does go wrong, Aura also has a $5 million identity theft insurance package. You are 100% covered with Aura. Nobody else offers you anything like that. And with my link below, or through this QR code that I'll put up on the screen right now, put your phone, camera, boom, it'll take you to the link. You can get 14 days absolutely unequivocally free. With those 14 days, they will go out on the dark web. They'll let you know, hey, your social security number is here. This is here. People have your address. This one has your cell phone number. That's why you're getting spam calls. You're doing whatever. They could take it all off for you for free. It's just like somebody coming in and being like, yo, let me paint a room for you for free to let you know how good I am doing. I don't know what painter would do that. I don't know why Aura would do that, but they're doing it, and I got it for you, all right? Because they are just that good, and they know how good they are, and they just want to prove it to you. So shout out to Aura for blessing the out louders. For those of you who are not familiar with Aura and don't know how large they are, they used to be the badge logo for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Here is a picture of Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, when he used to play for Minnesota. They are that big. They are the leaders. And today they are offering you a 14-day free trial with the link below and the QR code. So do not miss out, my people. All right. Let's get to the comments of the day. Doji Doge. I never know if I'm pronouncing this right. I think I've read a comment from you before, but what up? I've never had IG, but I'm that curious as to what I might be missing out on Formally Out Loud that I'm going to sign up this weekend. You hear that, IG? I'm getting people that have never been on Instagram to sign up. Well, I really hope that you hear this, Doji Doge or Doggy Doge or whatever it is your name is. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. Y'all know I'm bad with names. But don't go to Formally Out Loud. We've changed it thanks to an out louder that helped me. I told you guys a couple of days ago that I'm like, I really hate Formally Out Loud. I just wanted a name of Out Loud and I couldn't find a good one. And a couple of people sent me stuff. Shout out to Mars. She tried. I don't know if I should say the name of this out louder. I'll just call him an out louder. But he was working with me for a couple of days. I'm like, no, this is not good. And then he sent me a couple of lists and I was like, this is amazing. I told you a little bit earlier in the show, Out Loud Daily. Isn't it amazing? Like, like Daily Mail or the Daily Show or the Daily, it's information daily is what we do. We are out loud daily. You know what I'm saying? Like the out louders, we're just this way daily. I love it. Anyways, out loud daily. Make sure you follow me there. All right. Or for those of you who don't know, it's not my personal, but it's our new blog page. We'll put up the stories before the pod and after the pod. So you get stories throughout the day and you'll know what we're going to be talking about on the show. And also you'll get the full videos, things that we can't put out here, like the text messages from Halle Bailey. We'll put them on full on Out Loud Daily. I keep on thinking that I have to say formally out loud daily. All right, let's go to the next one. Next one is from, the last part of the name is Rico. I'm just going to say Rico, okay? Sorry if that's wrong. Hey, Trent, great podcast. I have a question that nobody can answer. Where are all the celebrity SEX tapes? Where are all the cases Busby had? Where are all the blah, 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 blah? Justin Bieber and Usher. I thought there was a hotline to call for Diddy. Where are all these cases? Did the internet lie to us? I feel we got played. Okay, we did not get played. Usher, Justin Bieber, celebrity, this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. That is, got to be careful what I say here. That is not fully gone. Who knows what might come out? I'm just going to leave it at that, all right? Because I have told you guys a while ago that we do know of some other celebrities that were mixed up in this. But let me finish. Let me cook. The civil cases, which might bring up some said celebrities, are on hold now that Diddy is going through his criminal trial. When you hear about these civil cases, it's not for fun. It's for real. It's a court case. But how many court cases can he go to at one time if he is in court? So while he's in court, those civil cases will be on hold. Here is the good and bad. If Diddy is found guilty, it's going to be so much easier for people to win those civil cases because the bearer of proof is harder in a criminal case. So they'll use that to be like, yo, he was found guilty here. It's going to be super easy. He'll lose all of those cases. Well, not every single one, but anyone that has merit, he'll lose all of those civil cases. And in those civil cases, you might hear some celebrity names. You might hear Usher. You might hear Justin Bieber, etc. The bad thing is that if he's found not guilty, it's going to be really hard for those civil cases to be brought and won because he will now use and say, look, hey, I went to criminal court on this and I was not found guilty. So civil, I'll use that as part of my defense. Now, like I said, the bearer of proof is a little bit less, so they might be able to get away with things. But that's the long-winded answer. The short answer is you'll start hearing the civil cases once this is done. Now, as for the prosecution using celebrity names and whatever, I know that you all thought that we were going to have this, freak offs with celebrity and J-Lo and this person or whatever, etc. And the prosecution may have questioned and investigated, who knows, 100, 200, 300, 400 people, we don't know. But it's the prosecution's job to figure out who can we bring on the stand, what can we present to the juror to get 100% conviction. It's not about who can tell us the most salacious story. Celebrity doesn't matter at this point. So even if they have some sort of evidence with other celebrities, they don't care about that. They want to send Diddy to jail. So Cassie, boom. It's Cassie. It's the tape. Boom. That's why she was the first witness. So it's not about salaciousness in criminal court. It's about facts and who can put on the best testimony to convict somebody. That's your answer. That was a long-winded answer, but that's your answer. Next one is Angela. Congratulations on your opportunity to be in court in the trial of the year. I think it's the trial of the century, but yes, thank you very much. Just great reminder. Thank you. We are going to start covering the Diddy trial from the courtroom as of Monday. Tune in to live. We're going to going live at around lunchtime and right after court. We're going to give you recaps. I was always on the fence about doing the whole thing. I had some other things that I was doing, some schedule conflicts, but more importantly, I really want to be there for Diddy's defense when they put on their case. I feel like with all the civil cases, we knew pretty much who was going to be on and what was going to be said, because we found out with all the civil stuff, and especially Cassie's civil stuff, nobody knows what's going on in the defense. And that's where I have a lot of expertise, because I have a bunch of defense lawyers actually. So I really want to be there for the defense, and I need to be in that courtroom and cover it to you guys. So just make sure that you keep up to date. I will still try to do a daily podcast at night, but we're going to be going live lunchtime and after court. All right, starting on Monday, if all goes well. All right, next one is Mo Shabis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm really sorry. I feel like the prosecution is kind of sabotaging this trial on the low. I mean, some witnesses are really unnecessary, like Bana, Mia, and Don. Yes, some witnesses are excessive and unnecessary. I have said that. Are they self-sabotaging on the low? Of course not. They would never embarrass themselves like that. Look, as much as I say that I think they're putting on some people that don't need to be on there, at the end of the day, they get one opportunity, you get one chance. You don't want to not put on somebody. They want to put on something. Their burden of proof is a lot higher. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. They want to make sure they cover every single angle and every T is crossed and every I is dotted. Or is it the other way around? Every I is dotted and T is crossed. Anyways, they're not self-sabotaging. And that was the last one. All right. Thank you guys so much for your comments. We try to get to all of them. We try to get new ones every day. Keep commenting. If we haven't got to, trust me, we'll get to you one day. And another reminder, link below, QR code, sign up for Aura, free for 14 days. You're going to thank me. You guys see it in the comment section. I get emails. People love it. Yeah. Thank you for commenting. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. When is it safe to say, my man, my man, my man? All right, let me read a couple of answers for you and then we'll get into it, okay? When the sun drops out the sky, when you on a podium crying, okay, no. When the Knicks win a championship, hey, that they might win next year. You never know if they get Kevin Durant. If you're not ever safe to say your thoughts, what? It's never safe to say your thoughts or prayers? Whatever. When you're married to a rich man, no prenup, and he's gifted your priorities under your name. Otherwise, he belongs to the streets. Jeez, it's hard out here, yo. When you're the only two left after the apocalypse, it's never safe. Never. Somebody put in emojis, said never, 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 never. When you got a husband that pays all the bills, doesn't stress you out, teaches you things, y'all truly in love, and he catches your life for the better in some way. Some people, when they be writing, do not be spell checking. I don't know what that last sentence was, but somebody said when he says my wife, my wife, my wife. Another person said never. All right. My whole point is that most women are answering never. Never. Soon as you say my man, the show you, they meant to say they show you the real them. And then you're not going to be proud of it. All right. Somebody says when they pay for the BBL. Okay. So this is the reason why I wanted to bring it to social discussion. Most women are like, yeah, never, never, never. I feel like a lot of women are like jaded out there. I think the reason why this question has so much, what's the word I'm looking for? So triggering is because I feel like back in the day, women felt comfortable. Yeah, that's my man. And then you find out that he cheated on you or he stepped out on you or this or whatever, and he didn't love you or whatever. And what I'm trying to get at is that I think, not blaming anybody, but I think that maybe back in the day, people rushed too quickly and now they're jaded. Ooh, that's a better word. And now they're jaded and they're like, nah, I'm never going to say that. So I'm kind of like switching the conversation. It's like, do some people jump to relationship status too quickly and start announcing that they're together with somebody too quickly? And I think that's more what the problem is. So I guess the third part to my question, y'all notice I do that in social discussion. I ask like 3 or 4 questions in one. Welcome to the Trent Out Loud podcast. I think that people rush relationships maybe a little too quickly these days. And I think you have to let some bad times happen. Because I think during the bad times, that's when you get to see the relationship or you get to see the person. And I don't mean bad times like horrible, but arguments, or you don't see eye to eye, or, like, oh, relationships are about compromising, right? Like, okay, you like this, I like this. Okay, well, and then sometimes it's like, well, I'm not compromising, you're not compromising, and see how that goes. I've said it before. I learned more about business when I was losing money and I was closing stores through my downturn than I ever did when I was building stores. When I first started opening stores, I was on a super high trajectory. I was making millions of dollars a year. I was opening tons of stores. And, we were going national. And part of the problem was I was opening a little too quickly. And, there was a change in the industry, and I didn't pick it up on time. But through my downturn, I learned more about business, and I'm a far better businessman than I am today. And I bring that analogy back to a relationship, that it's in the bad times that you learn to see a relationship and who that person who you're dealing with really is. And you know what? Not even bad times during a relationship, but that person going through a bad time. Or if you're going through a bad time, are they there for you? And I just think you need to let that metastasize. Can you use that word here? I'm not going to start Googling it, and I think that's when the relationship develops. I'm going through a bad time, but she was there. She didn't, stop talking to me. She was there when I was like, hey, I can't hang out this weekend. I can't do this. Okay, cool. Hey, then she says, shoot, this happened. I got into a fight with my sister, but he was still riding with me. This happened or whatever. And then that's how a relationship builds. And I think it's my elongated way of saying, y'all know I can get chatty sometimes, especially on the end of the week. But I feel like that's when you could be like, my man. That whole point of that saying is like, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to wait a while. It can't just be love. You can't just be low, I really like that person. Or like I always say, like a lot of guys' mistake is, she's so beautiful, I'm so attracted to her. Yeah, and is she there for you? Is she riding for you? Is that your girl? Like, I need those times for me to be like, that's my girl. Y'all let me know what you think. I really got deep in that, but I was so right. Y'all know I'm right. Anyways, when is it time to say my man? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. Should a man always pay on the first date, even if the woman makes more than him? I'm just going to get straight to the point. A man should always pay on the first date, especially if she makes more than him. Are you joking? On top of it. Because anyways, let me not get into it, but the answer is yes. That's just respect. You're going on a date, be a man, pay the check. Boom, done. But especially if she makes more than you, just to let her know, like, baby, I understand whatever it is. And you're going to hear some of these comments. How do you know somebody's making that more than you or whatever, blah, blah. It's just a question. So you just got to take the analogy, and it's not really that hard. You could figure out who makes more money than who by the car he or she drives. It's a tell, their outfit, what she does. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer at a law firm, or I'm a partner at a law firm. Okay, cool. Well, I work at the bank at this level. You can know that she makes more. But I feel like even more important, you got to let her know that, this is not about a money thing. And just because you're making more than me, it doesn't mean that I am not still going to be an alpha in this relationship. It will be hard to be an alpha when she makes more, but you could still be that way and be like, I'm still a man here. Boom, I'm paying the check. You know what I'm saying? I got us. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, we don't even need to go to answer because I even know to go to the answers because I already answered it, but we'll go ahead. The first person said, yes, a man is supposed to properly court me. Why do we keep having these discussions? Another person says, if it's the first date, how do we know what each other are making? See, I knew somebody would say that. Let's talk about interest and compatibility. We always talk about money. We lost substance. Hey, this is just one part of the analogy, right? But totally agree that in that conversation, y'all know me by now. We're talking about way more than interest and compatibility. I talk about values. I deep dive. Y'all know I'm a chatty mofo. Next one is absolutely yes, not even debatable. Another person says, if I don't have the funds to take her out on a first date, why even bother? Oh, sorry. If you don't have the funds to take her out, why even bother? Another person said, he's paying every date, every trip, every excursion. He loves it here. That's funny. Another person said, of course, if not, then she's the one wearing the pants. A man that doesn't pay isn't respected. I don't know if we'll go that far that he's not respected, but see where you're coming from. How would she make? She knows she makes more on the first date. Okay. Hold on. A first date. Somebody said a first date should be 50-50. Another person said, who asked who? Whoever asked got to pay. Now, I mean, like I said, we could go on, but I already gave you guys the best answer. So now, if somebody asks you, I particularly would still pay. That's just me. That's who I am. Y'all know the type of dude I am, right? I'm the A in alpha. But I don't think that would be super bad if that happened where a guy, I know I'm trying to see it, but I don't think I am. If a girl asked me out on a date, the first date, but see, even at that, I would feel awkward. A girl like, want me to take you out somewhere? I don't know. I couldn't get down with that. And yeah, no, I would pay. I would have to pay. Are we done now? Yeah, no. Answer the comments in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to sports news. Are y'all ready for tonight's finals? OKC against the Pacers. All right, my man Mello from Ohio in the comment section 2 or 3 days ago dragged me and said, yo, Trent, your sport predictions are horrible, although he still loves the show. Shout out to Mello. So I'll agree. My ball predictions have been horrible this year. They were good in football, and they were good last year. But so I say this with a grain of salt. I am going for OKC, and I think OKC is going to win game one. I think this is going to be very telling, this first game one, how the offenses are going to go about it. It's just going to be raining threes. However, so both of these teams are coached very well, offensively and defensively. And if each other knows their strengths, why not play against those strengths and be like, hey, they're going to be preparing for, an onslaught of threes. We're going to drive more. We're going to do this, pick and roll, blah, 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 blah. And I just think that with that said, I think OKC does have the edge. But then Pascal, it's going to be a good finals. OKC, done. Mello, what do you think? Everybody else, what do you think? Who do you got for the finals and who do you got for game one? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, y'all, that is a wrap on today's show. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. We are probably going to have a show tomorrow, like I said earlier, because Jane is on the stand. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit rundown. I don't know if it will be a full show or whatever, but we'll definitely cover Diddy. I'll maybe throw in a social discussion here or there. But we'll let you guys know. We will not let you guys have to wait until Monday for the Friday recap. As you guys know, this podcast is Friday morning, and we will cover Friday day tomorrow. Okay. Also, just want to remind you guys once again, here is a QR code for Aura. Click the link below or put your phone up to this QR code and sign up free for 14 days. Totally free, up to you if you want to continue afterwards. Before I let you go, just want to remind you of all the ways how to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you on YouTube, sorry, I'm thinking about something else. For those of you on YouTube, have no fear. We're available on all podcast platforms. If you're ever going, this is what I wanted to say. If you're ever going on a flight, I say this every day. If you're ever going on a flight or if you're ever going in a car and you don't have access to the internet, don't worry, because the Trent Out Loud podcast is available on all podcast platforms. You can download us and take us with you. There you go. I finally got it out. Just go to any podcast site, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. Now, vice versa, for those of you who are on podcast platforms and listen to us on podcast platforms, thank you so much for your downloads and your supports. However, we want you guys to hang out over on YouTube. I'm telling you, it's a vibe over here. It's definitely even better just to listen on video. I know Spotify has video, but it's a vibe over here because the comment section is lit. This is where you'll find most of the Out Loud family. Head on over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. A couple of things you're going to need to do. Hit that subscribe button, gives you entrance into the Out Loud family. Hit that like button, get the algorithming. Please try to comment. I do this podcast by myself every day. I need you to answer and communicate with me, or I'm literally just talking to myself, and it's embarrassing. If you don't want to jump in on a conversation, that's fine. Just let me know, hey, Trent, it's so-and-so, and I'm listening from here, or I'm watching from here. It's a global podcast, and I just love to see where everybody's from. If you are really enjoying the podcast, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones because it helps in growing the channel. We appreciate y'all. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the podcast, I'm available on all social platforms. It's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. I put a lot of your comments in my stories on Instagram, so you can check us out there. Like I said earlier, we do also have a blog page on Instagram called now, new name, Out Loud Daily on Instagram. Oh, I don't have to spell it out now. Oh, that's what I hated about officially, because there's two officiallys, and it was official, not official. Anyways, forget about that now. I'm not even going to say it again after today. Out Loud Daily on Instagram. If you're already following us on Formerly Out Loud, don't worry. It's the same site. You don't have to change anything. Don't worry about that. We've changed the name. New people, if you haven't followed Formerly Out Loud, go and follow go and follow Out Loud Daily. Okay, I got to end this podcast. That is where we'll put the extended videos and stories throughout the day, all right? I'm out of here, people. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.